Put that in the B-roll.
Okay, there we go. This is recording.
Yeah.
Just being around other people, right? Not just individually, but as a couple.
I miss community the most, I would say.
The normalcy of getting to see our family and friends.
Hanging out with people together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I like hanging out with you, with people.
Oh, so for you, it's also community.
Yeah.
Unconsciously, I've been craving that more than I thought.
Yeah.
You know, now that we are little by little starting to see people, you know, a little bit.
Because you're an introvert.
But I'm like
you like
borderline,
being
right?
around people.
But I love being around people.
That kind of close, like we see each other on a weekly basis. But we also just moved
Yeah.
in the middle of a pandemic. So part of that was because we moved.
Yeah, so kind of that feeling.
Yeah.
We feel it even more because of that.
Getting to hug them and touch them and just be with them.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy live music, and there has been none. So we can't be in crowds and groups together to go out to venues or festivals and just activities and experiences like that.
We went to a restaurant, 2 days ago, that we were able to sit indoors, and that was something like so special for us. I feel like what I really missed about that is just like communing with strangers. Like,
Yeah.
even just having people, you know, around us is like something that's so comforting, and not having that for like a year has been really tough.
I mean, I'm an introvert, so like I don't always need to hang out with people, but I love hanging out with people with you, because I think we kind of have a good vibe.
Cute.
Fortunately, I have not struggled through COVID much. My work was slow for a while, but I have actually been working throughout. I feel blessed in that regard, knowing many have struggled. I did not experience the virus, so again, while it's been strange and different, I've been well and feel blessed in that regard.
I don't necessarily want to say ditto, but it really pretty much is the same thing. I've been able to continue working through all of this and not experience the virus either. So, I mean, our livelihood has not been impacted.
All I could think of is how much I appreciate the little things that you do. I'm going to read what you sent to me. Philippians 4:12-13. And you said, "You've got this, darling. I believe in you. I know the season is tough and overwhelming. I'm here with you. You're not alone, and not because of me. He's prepared you and continues to work in you for a much bigger purpose. You will conquer these giants."
Just the way that you are also. I mean, but you do that for me too. And I think that's way more than I could ask for. I'm not the type of person that like needs like affirmation. But when you do it, I don't know, I guess it empowers me in a way that I didn't even know I needed.
We're still dating, but I feel like we're practicing this role that could potentially be fruitful in marriage,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Which is
definitely.
like being intentional about communicating with each other, but it's also when we speak words of affirmation and words of life. We know each other's strengths and we know each other's weaknesses, but the only thing that could make us even better people is focusing on those strengths.
Yeah, right.
What are you struggling with right now?
I think we were both kind of struggling with keeping up, tiredness.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago.
Yep.
We got married.
Yep.
And then we got married, we came home from the honeymoon, it was like, you know, everything's awesome, but then it was like
Happened
real
fast.
life, and we had to like adjust to a routine. But the thing is, like, a routine in COVID is totally different.
I mean, how crazy. I was still going to work, but
Yeah.
you were at home for every day with Derman, our
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But we found a routine in that.
We did find a
And
eventually.
and even in amongst there was like different phases where we had to find a new routine because
True.
COVID would change and would add another element.
True.
And then for us with church, because we were involved in church, I'm a a pastor. You were involved a ton in with
Yep.
what I do. And so all of a sudden we were meeting every week. I think now though we're starting to get back into
Yeah.
like another routine. And so I think like I think that has been our struggle.
I've always done, you've known, I never left my job. I never worked from home. So that stayed the same for me. But something that's so different is like not having our weekends anymore. Because we really looked forward to like going to the beach or like just doing, like even relaxing. It was nice to have that time. And now we are working almost every day. So that's the current struggle. And,
But we're getting better at it.
but we're getting better at it. We're just adapting.
Yeah.
We chill with each other. We are.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
Wow.
I feel like the question is being answered in our lives right now.
As we're living it.
Yeah.
I think I will have a more of an appreciation for those relationships, and not take them for granted. And so, just to value that time when you have time with people, not to rush it, not to wish you were already doing something else, but to appreciate the time you have with people.
Yeah, you're right. It's taken for granted sometimes. You think you'll always get to be around them. We don't know the number of our days, but we also learned through the pandemic that our social time can be taken away, and we can be restricted. So we should value those moments.
Yeah, for sure. Be with people
Yes,
outside of work.
and grandbabies.
Grandbabies. Miss the babies.
I took for granted the community that we had at church. And now that we have that here, I feel like I'm in a space where I really want to love on people and really want to build and form long-lasting relationships and friendships with people. Life is just too hard to do it alone.
Post-COVID, we're coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
There's a lot like, with me, I was literally working from home. We weren't running church services. We were just doing online. So the stress was pretty minimal. Now that we've like in person, we're dealing with people and dealing with a team and everything you're on a regular basis, that just brings all its own different stressors. I would say I think we've grown closer in our relationship, having to band together.
True.
Yeah, I would say we've kind of bonded over the harder times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I've never been able to say I've gotten to know myself and being in a relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm getting to know myself as a person individually, but I just so happen to be in an awesome relationship,
That's so cool.
right? I definitely think my time alone is super important.
Yeah.
And I think that's also helped with our time and like
Yeah,
together.
for
For instance, like the phrase, decisions now will affect you positively or negatively in the future. My experiences by myself affect us positively or negatively in our relationship. For myself, what I can hope for myself coming out of this is that I'm a little bit more intentional in my relationships.
I've just learned to love you even more. I've learned to love the fact that you're a good teammate for me, and it's been a good fit, and that if I'm going to be stuck with anyone, quarantined with anyone, that I'm glad that it's you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I learned to love more about your sense of humor
Oh,
with being home together,
quarantined.
quarantined, and
Yeah.
finding things to do, and you have a great sense of humor anyway, and got to hear a lot more of it.
It was actually fun being stuck here for a while with you.
It was.
So I'm glad our values are similar, not only in faith, but in following the rules with COVID, for social distancing, masking, washing, and trying to prevent the spread, whether it's for our benefit or for not infecting others.
I can really say every single day I just continue to fall in love with you. What I noticed about you, just how kind you were, and your personality was super spunky and super hey, oh my gosh, right? And I'm very laid back, very introvert, right? You really balance balance me out. And so what I could say is what I continue to appreciate and love about you is your kind heart and just the way that you are. Yeah.
I don't even know how to say it, but the time you spend talking. Because I talk a lot. I take up the time talking. And something I've learned to love about you is literally when you just start speaking all this truth and wisdom, and it's always like affirming and it's always so kind and loving. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to jump in and say something, and I'm like, no, like, don't do it, because Joe doesn't get to talk that often, so just let him talk. But it's so amazing, and I just love that about you.
Love you.
Love you.
In this season, I have loved just your support and loving me for who I am, you know, with all my
You make me cry. Quirks. We have quirky love.
I mean, we just got married, what, 7 months ago? So we've been like learning. I mean,
close one there.
we obviously, like in a dating relationship, we learn a ton about each other. But
Yeah.
then you learn so when you're living together and you learn so much about each other.
True.
And I just love that we just have fun. Life
Yeah,
is just fun.
we actually
like
do
it's
have
just
a lot
like
of fun. It's like having a sleepover
With
with your
your
best
best
friend
friend.
every night.
I mean that sounds like the you lose a romance when you say that, but it's like we just have fun, like
Yeah.
it's
just
one big
fun.
party.
Okay, one thing I love about you, I would say like obviously learning to get to know you every day more. But one thing that's really stuck out for me is slow to anger. You are so patient with people. He is so patient with people. All right. I swear, people can yell at him, people can disrespect him, and he takes a step back. He thinks about it, thinks about what he's gonna say. So mature about it. Sometimes, most of the time, maturest man in the room. And I really admire that about you, because it's very rare, actually.
She doesn't yell at me though. You're so patient.
I'm also very patient.
You're so patient. When I yell at you, you just go into the corner and you don't.
No, that's not what it sounds like. It's not how it sounds. No, I'm serious though.
And I don't
You
see
handle-
you for 3 days. And it's just the most beautiful thing.
You handle a lot. Okay, you handle a lot, and you do it with a very level head.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We're dating.
So what was question one?
All right.
Next question.
Come back. You're not done yet.
There you go. You tried.
Wait.
The Jamesons.
The Jameson.
Alright.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Ah.
Yeah, I win. True.
All right. No,
Too late.
I skipped you.
Oh yeah, damn.
Now you can go.
We're competitive.
We're competitive with each other.
Sweet. Is that okay?
Yeah. Watch this. Watch this. Uno.
Uno and out.
Wait, what?
It's been a pleasure.